Hey y'all, welcome back to Get Ready with Me in Devotion. I really did not know what I wanted to talk about today. This past week has been great, but also mixed with some sorrow towards the end that I did not mention in weekend recap last week. However, it has led me to share several scriptures today for devotion, and I wanted to talk about forgiveness. So getting right into it, Luke 6:37, do not judge and you will not be judged. Do not condemn and you will not be condemned. Forgive and you will be forgiven. Colossians 3:13, bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord has forgiven you. And Matthew 6:14, for if you forgive other people when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others their sins, your Father will not forgive yours. The reason for wanting to share, devotion on forgiveness, just recently a tragic loss occurred, and I wasn't close to this person, but my best friend was, but still it's a very fragile situation that is unfortunate, and it has given me a different perspective and outlook on life as a whole in ways that tug on your heartstrings so deeply. And I'm somebody that feels for other people, specifically like my close people. Like if you cry, I cry. If you're struggling, it hurts me just as bad as it hurts you. So I have to say it's been a journey this past week of being on the outside looking in while also being a backbone for my best friend. But also it's been a reminder to me to really look at life differently and to enjoy it in a whole new way. Be grateful and take the time to tell and show people that you love them and not just let all the little and wrong things people do to you affect you all the time, because in the end, it is not worth it. And the past few weeks, God has just given me a better understanding of life and forgiveness, from this situation. A lot of times, all the things inside of our heart that we carry or we have against people is because we don't understand why they treat us the way they do, especially when we've been good to them, when really it's something the other person hasn't dealt with that makes them act the way that they do towards us. And then we spend all this time hating on someone, but then when something happens and now we find ourselves in a predicament, wishing after the fact that things were handled differently, now it's too late and things are left unresolved when we thought otherwise. It's also reminded me that you do not have to do life alone. Find people in your life that you can rock with, stick beside, and share all of life's best and worst moments together. And feel free to share your deepest thoughts, because that's what builds us up and keeps us moving in life. And these verses about forgiveness are so simple, but yet so meaningful. And I am one that hates looking down on others and one who hates to see others hate on other people, because I know I and others just as equally have a fair share of things that we could be judged or condemned for. There's always going to be something somebody has to say about everything and everybody. And even during election week and afterwards, the amount of friendships dropped. I feel so bad for those who have experienced this, because it is a terrible feeling to lose people you love because of their political views. And especially as Christians, this is so small compared to what is stored up for us in eternity and in heaven, where there is no president. Colossians 3:13 tells us to bear with one another in our grievances with people. And if it's that bad of a grievance that you can't bear with, that's also a spirit of manipulation when you now only want to deal with the people who believe what you believe politically, and trying to parallel someone's spirituality to their political beliefs and argue whether or not they're a true Christian is beyond wild. And this also raises an important question. What happens when maintaining a friendship is more important than being right? I refuse to let political differences or views determine how I treat somebody, because that is not godly and it's just dumb. When Jesus was on earth preaching and teaching, he dealt with a diversity of people who believed in him, people who didn't believe in anything, and people who believed in other gods. And that didn't stop him from loving everybody the same. That didn't change what he taught or his heart posture. He did it because it was his assignment, and he paid the ultimate sacrifice, which is what holds us accountable when God is telling us to forgive others as he has forgiven us also. Forgiveness sometimes isn't for the other person. It is for you. When you continuously walk in a state of forgiveness, you quickly shake things off and move forward. And that's how you gain true peace in life. I take the time to work on me and forgive me, so that when I forgive others, I'll only be uncomfortable for a moment instead of being traumatized for a lifetime. Sometimes you have to forgive people when they don't apologize, or even when they say they're sorry and they don't really mean it at all. That is a choice you have to make for yourself that can either be good or bad based on the kind of life you want to live. And I've had to make that choice over and over again, regardless of the information I've been told or found out or whatever. Choosing to forgive is godly and it's biblical, and choosing to forgive is the way to eternity and to heaven. We can't always avoid conflict and hard conversations and reconciliation and use it as an excuse to always say, well, I'm protecting my peace. There is a thing such as false peace, which comes from neglecting our relational responsibilities because we are too arrogant or prideful or exhausted and discontent to fix what's wrong. And if you choose not to forgive, that's usually backed up by something left unresolved in your life that you were refusing to grab a hold of and actually fix it. You have to understand that as a Christian, genuinely God-ordained friendships take work, maintenance, forgiveness, humility, honesty, and it also requires you to pay close attention to when Satan is seeking to desperately rip you apart from somebody you deeply love. Don't be a lazy loyalist. Fight for your people because everybody isn't replaceable. So when it comes to forgiveness, it's more than just an action. It's a posture and a state of mind that we should uphold, and it's so important now more than ever. And I pray that we start seeing that more and more. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to Get Ready With Me in Devotion. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys during Thanksgiving week so we can celebrate together.